Hello and welcome back to One More for the Road, a podcast of game reviews, retrospectives, and just thoughts about, I don't know, man. There's a lot of things this podcast has become about. I I am joined yet again with my good friend Felix. How are you doing today?
Yo, I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. Happy to be here again for another episode, the conclusion to Cold Steel.
If you haven't seen the first half of this podcast with us talking about Cold Steel, please, I'll have a link in the doobly-doo and the card. I also had a first impressions podcast that I did with Door, and that's also will be linked in the doobly-doo. Or you can just see it in or you could just see it in the One More for the Road playlist. But yes. Felix, I think we came to a pretty reasonable conclusion. We did not finish going through all the characters, and we'll get back to those in a little bit. Yeah. But I believe we did come to the conclusion that Cold Steel good.
Yes, most definitely. Play it immediately.
Yes, it is. It's a really good video game. Like I'm literally in the middle of a New Game Plus run, and it's been a blast. It's just as fun the second time around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, honestly, a little bit more so because like now I've got all the broken stuff, so I can do all the insane combat things. Laura's like hitting the damage cap on the regular basis.
That's crazy, actually.
I didn't know this game had a damage cap.
Right.
But I hit the damage cap on my fight with Scarlet at the fortress, Gurnham Fortress.
Yeah,
Garnham Fortress.
Oh wow,
the fortress with the big cannons that are trying to blow up Crossbell.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it's not there anymore, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, can you believe? You know what? Actually,
Dude,
I guess that's
something
we can talk about that. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, so we forgot to talk about a few things we wanted to talk about in story, and things are going down in Crossbell, and one of the things is they blew up a fortress. Like, it's gone.
Yeah, just erased. There's like a giant hole in the ground where it was or something now?
Yeah. You can actually see there's a screenshot, or like there's like a photo in one of the news articles that's in the like finale cutscene.
Yeah.
Where there like half of the fortress, like you can see like a clean cut circle where there's just a hole in where stuff was, and now it's just gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, what did that? And like didn't like blow up. I have a feeling
mm-hmm.
I have a feeling like Azure is going to answer it. Like this game is the best marketing material that Trails of Azure could have ever possibly had. Like, my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
The amount of excitement. Nisa Video Game Company, please. I need Azure now. You don't understand it. Nisa Video Game Company, please give us Azure.
So real quick, would you guess that whatever it was that erased the fortress, it came was there maybe sort of like a retaliation from Crossbell, you think, or do you think it was somebody from within Erebonia at the time that did it? If you had to just place something.
I am going to assume it's someone messing around with DG cult nonsense.
Ooh, okay.
Not necessarily that like the cult survived, but like they had like a whole fortress of stuff.
Yeah, you're not lying.
Someone's probably dinking around and like found some stuff, and then Kia's got some sort of weird magic power, so we don't know what's going on with that. And
True.
like I have a feeling that's like main plot Azure stuff.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So whoever like the antagonist over there is, it's probably involving that, because there's like a shield or something. There's like an energy shield around the actual city itself as well.
Yes.
And I don't know what's going on with that either.
Yeah, that's true. They don't really touch on it in in Zero.
They like mention it, well, Zero, it's not there. But
Oh.
so
Oh, you're
like
right.
in so like they're like, oh, there's an energy shield, and I wonder if that's to keep other people out
Right.
or if it's to keep Crossbell in.
Right. Yeah.
Like if it's to keep those people in.
Ooh. Oh, I have some thoughts about that.
Dude, right?
Yeah.
Dude, it's look, Trails to Azure is going to be very good video gaming, and
Oh yeah.
I cannot wait.
Oh yeah. I'll race you to the finish of that one.
Dude, yeah, I'm hoping we can start at the same time.
Yeah,
And
fingers
I'm
crossed.
hoping Nisa Video Game Company, please, Nisa Video Game Company. For the love
We're
of God,
begging.
I need to play this video. We are begging you, please give us this game as quickly as possible. If it delays, I will literally implode.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
that
if
would
there's
be. Oh my god.
like if they need to do that because of like, crunch or like, they're trying to avoid that. Okay, that's fine. I'm cool with it.
Yep.
But I will die. like I don't know what I'll do.
just spontaneously, you're there and then you're not.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I will cease to exist in this plane. I will ascend to the astral realm and try to play it there. I don't know. So actually this game though, Cold Steel, there's some stuff we wanted to talk about.
Yes. Yes. Yo,
I'm sorry.
Crazy how it just keeps coming back, right? But it
I
makes
know.
perfect sense because, Crossbell was still a major player in this game.
Oh yeah.
Despite not ever actually being, I guess, directly in view, or well, I mean, I guess there was one or two camera pans, but
Oh yeah. I mean, Trails. I mean, I still say Trails from Zero's my favorite game in the series.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite JRPGs of all time. Like it is,
So
it is a
good.
top 3 JRPG.
So good.
Yeah. But again, we keep getting distracted.
Yep.
Cold Steel. So there's a bunch of stuff that happens in the old schoolhouse that we did not talk about last time, and I'd like to touch on today. So Celine, the cat,
Yes,
like kind of leads Reen's sister Elise into the old schoolhouse and down to like open some sort of the door on the fourth floor that had like a big giant armor thing, like a big robot deal.
Yeah.
And here's something that I noticed, and this is kind of tied as well to the castle in Legram.
Yeah, I think
Is
Legram, yeah.
Yeah, is they like Reen did not activate that door.
Right.
Elise did.
Right.
And then here's a question actually that I don't know the answer to. Was Crow with us in chapter 6?
By then, yes.
Like, so when we got to the bottom of the dungeon, like when we were fighting the final boss in the dungeon, was Crow with us?
Or he should be there for that. Yeah. He doesn't vanish until like post festival, right? So yeah. He's there.
All right. Okay. So Elise was able to activate the door, and like the robot comes out, and then we go down there. We learn that Reen can morb. Turns into like he can go like Super Saiyan or whatever the terminology you want to use is.
Right.
And he does that. He rescues his sister along with Crow and Patrick. I love that Patrick's there.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. But hold on, I'm putting something together.
Yeah.
So there's a similar door in Legram Castle.
Yes.
That doesn't react to us at all.
Correct.
And also, when it's just Reen that door doesn't react to us at all.
That is true too. Yes.
So it's like asking like for an awakener. Now, obviously, what is the name of the robot? Valamar?
Valamar. Yep.
Valamar. Valamar obviously responds to Reen's summon.
Yes.
But none of the actual trials did.
That is true. I'm trying to remember the words used when Elise opens that door, because I'm sure it's worded in a way that is, it's like meant to be a trial, right?
Yeah, it's like Awakener detected commencing the first trial.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So we know that Crow is an Awakener.
Right.
Because obviously he has his own Divine Knight, I think they're called.
Yep.
And we know, I guess, Elise is?
Yeah, she might. But
what if Reen isn't?
Oh, it's one of those. Oh man.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, because hold on, what prevents, because if Crow is with us for the 6th door,
yeah,
and Reen, hold on. So obviously Reen hears stuff from the door before, like he hears stuff from the old schoolhouse prior to this.
This
right?
is true. Yes.
Where is Elise in that sequence?
I
don't remember. That's why I'm asking. This isn't
right.
like a leading, but do you see? No, this is like a legitimate, I don't know where she is during that sequence.
I don't,
because I know she visits the school.
She does. Yes.
Prior to that.
Yes.
Could it have been during that sequence?
There's a chance of that. If not, then she most definitely is, like, back at school, like,
she's not away. Far.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if Reen is only kind of like tangentially related.
Right. Like it's some sort of
he's
weird Sora Kingdom Hearts, like, oh, you happened to be here when the Keyblade was called, and so it picked you in that moment, as opposed to it being like it was always you the entire time.
Well, because one of the complaints that I'm pretty sure I talked about last time was Reen feels too much kind of like a chosen one archetype.
Yeah.
Where he's got magic powers to give him a strength boost, and he's quote unquote an awakener.
Mm-hmm.
And can summon one of the 7 divine armaments or whatever. And I'm like, but what if he's not?
Right. What if he's literally just a guy?
Yeah, like, and that would make so much more sense based on the, like, stories we've had previously in these games where Lloyd Bannings is just some guy with heartburn, and like, yeah, Estelle Bright is the daughter of Cassius Bright, but like, she doesn't abuse that.
Yes, right. Yeah.
And so she's obviously much significantly more powerful than your average teenager.
Mm-hmm.
She's not like, destined to greatness. She's, kind of resents the fact that she's related to Cassius, if anything.
Yeah, that is true.
And so what if Reen also just hates the fact that everyone is piling on the, like, he's like, oh yeah, he's the leader. And he's like, what, who put me in charge?
Right.
Point me to them, I will kill them. and like, but he does have, like, out of our 3 main characters so far, he has the most main character energy.
Yeah, that he does.
And it would be an interesting inversion to that if maybe he's not.
That would be, I would actually really love that too. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, wow, like
that would be really good.
Yeah, that would be an excellent twist.
Yeah, like, I don't know if that's how it's going to go. Obviously don't spoil it for us in the comments. Me and you are basically at the same place now in this series.
Yeah, we are.
We have essentially the exact same set of knowledge. You actually, you've done the prologue of CS2 because I don't blame you.
Yeah, that cliffhanger was rude.
I know. Dude, if I could do 2 months of Xenoblade 2 in between first chapter and second chapter of Sky.
Yeah.
I can wait a little bit of time for these two games. Xenoblade 2 is such a fun video game. It is not the point of this. I
Also
keep
true.
getting distracted.
Hey, listen, no, you're good. I was doing my own little like super wild, definitely could not be real like theory crafting as you were coming up with yours. Imagine we live in a world where Reen Schwarzer, because he's adopted, right? Imagine if he is like somebody who got left behind, basically, and his actual family was killed in the whole where's Joshua from again? Hold on. What was that incident? Oh my god.
Oh crap. Why can't I think of the name of that town?
Yeah, right. Well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like what?
Yeah.
What if he's like
the
from there
there
as well? And well, I mean, I don't know if I'd go as far as to stretch it being like, oh my god, long lost family. Reen and Joshua are from the same family. Like, could you imagine?
I don't know how I feel about that.
There's no way. But I actually do kind of lean into the idea that he might be from a place that was affected as like similarly, right? Because what's it called? Osborne has sent several people to go annex various places, right? I think that was just like the biggest calamity or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm like,
that feels accurate.
Yeah.
I don't know. On one hand, I'd be like, oh, that would be really interesting. On the other hand, I would hate it. I kind of hate that.
I would hate it. I thought of it, but believe me, I hate it.
Yeah. So like we have all that, and then like what was the deal with the final boss? Like the big shadow deal?
Yeah, when I first came across it, I remember thinking like after I later learned of Valimar, I was like, oh, this is just like the spirit of Valimar or something. But no, I in retrospect, I do think it is larger than that, right? There are 7 of these divine knights, right? And
yeah,
so I'm like, there's if not one of the 7, there's probably like a +1 that is probably like some leader or something like that. And so because I think that fight was also treated like a test, right?
Yes, that was the final test or whatever,
right.
Final trial.
Right. So if not the spirit of Valimar, it's got to be whoever kind of like governs the divine knights, I guess. That's my guess.
Yeah, because its name was like something like Zamura, or no, it was like Araloa or something.
Yeah, it
had like Arabonia root. It had like one of the root words of Arabonia in it.
Yeah,
and I was like, huh, there's something going on here, but I don't know what yet. Also, like, I wonder if all of those are within Arabonia, or if they're throughout the continent as a whole.
They gotta be throughout the continents. There's no way.
There's so, like these ancient freaking nightmare frames open up so many questions.
Yeah.
And something else I've noticed as well, though. Speaking of like all of this, so like Crow has like the gray hair and red eyes.
Yeah.
And that's what Reen looks like when he's, all morbing out.
Yep.
And I wonder if Crow's doing a very similar thing, but he's like, it's like Cell, Saga, Goku, and Gohan, where they can be Super Saiyan all the time now. And that's just their base form now.
That would be interesting, to be honest.
It would be interesting. See, I had to make the topical, Dragon Ball reference because kids remember the Cell saga, right?
They better.
Yeah, it's the best saga.
Not even lying.
I mean, okay. Hold on. Let me think that through real quick.
Yeah.
No, I'll say the Cell saga is the best saga.
Yeah.
I feel like that's uncontroversial.
Yeah.
Close enough to accurate. Like,
most definitely. You can make some debates for the Frieza saga, but
Yeah. Okay, actually, here, we didn't do a top 3 at the top. So before we go in to characters, top 3 Dragon Ball arcs.
Oh. Okay.
You can pull from any of it.
Right. Oh man. Am I
I'm
doing like
gonna be
least to
hyper rude.
greatest or
I don't just give me a top 3. Doesn't
any?
have to
Okay.
be
Okay.
in any specific order.
So, oh man. So okay. Definitely the Frieza saga. Definitely the Cell
Uh-huh.
saga.
Uh-huh.
And I'm also gonna say uh oh my god, I forget what number it was, but the world tournament against Piccolo Jr.
Oh, the one that capped off the original Dragon Ball run.
Pretty much, yeah, that one.
That's a
That is a
good
great time.
set.
Yeah, that
Dang,
was a great
that's a
tournament. That was
solid
a
set.
great final match. Like, just, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna say Cell Saga.
Uh-huh.
That world actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with that World Martial Arts tournament
Okay,
with
yeah.
Piccolo Jr.
Yep.
All right, this is where I got to disagree with you though, and
Ooh.
you're not gonna like me.
Oh
You're not gonna like me.
no way! Which one is it?
Tournament of Power.
I had a feeling. I was like, he's either
Dude.
gonna say the Saiyan Saga or the Tournament of Power.
Dude, look, Saiyan Saga is pretty cool, but like, dude, Tournament of Power was just
It was great.
all right.
It was great.
Here's the thing with Tournament of Power. All right, Tournament of Power is not the most consistent
Right.
arc, but it has some of the hypest moments in the whole series.
Yeah. You're not lying.
Like the first time he has like good. Like the first time he does like Ultra Instinct, like
Yep.
full Ultra Instinct, and that
Yep.
freaking insert song comes on. It's like
It's
it's
really
like a
good.
truck.
Yeah.
The last 10 episodes of that anime are some of the most hype shonen ever put to screen,
That is also true. Yeah.
and I will stand by that forever.
Yeah. No, you're not lying at all.
There are definitely more consistent arcs.
Also true. Mm-hmm.
Like, I would argue, honestly, that the Universe 6 exhibition match
Oh yeah.
is a more consistent arc.
Yeah.
I would argue that the Red Ribbon Army arc is probably Red Ribbon Army is probably like a top 5.
Yeah.
Actually, here's a question: do we include the Android saga into the Cell saga, or are we just talking like? Are we just talking like Cell's appearance forward?
Right.
Like, where does that delineate? I actually don't know.
I guess it depends. I know more commonly it is separated. But it's funny, right? Because I say that knowing full well that when people talk about the Cell Saga, they do include the androids. God, it's such a gray area, right? Because Android 19 and 20 are very quickly disposed of. And then we get the 17, 18 introduction, but they're not even really interacted with after their awakening until Cell comes around. So it's like, when does it make that full transition? Like
18 beats the crap out of Vegeta.
Yeah, that's right after they
breaks
awaken.
his damn arm. Yeah. I guess there is like a pretty long gap between they beat up Vegeta and then Cell Saga stuff starts happening.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, because after that, they just kind of
mess around
off.
Yeah. They steal a van. Go shopping.
Yeah. So
I love this too.
It's a weird gray area, but when talked about, I know generally they combine it all into one. Because I mean, I guess by the end of the day,
I would include them.
Yeah, they are all androids. So
yeah, we do need to.
Yes,
we're gonna do. Yeah, Cold Steel. All right, if you want Dragon Ball on the podcast, stick around. We're gonna do a whole episode. If you liked what you just heard, it'll happen later.
Yeah, like we're going to be getting into full breakdowns of various characters, varying arcs, clearly. And highlights and favorite moments and so on. And we might actually surprise you with some of the things we've thought about and picked up from the series over the years.
Yeah, I will also agree that you are probably far more I'm not a slouch, but you definitely have thought about Dragon Ball more than I have.
It's embarrassing.
It's
I have.
Yo,
I
Cold
have.
Steel's got side characters. Let's talk about them.
Yo!
So Trista has a truly stressful quantity of phenomenal characters.
Yeah.
And let's start with, oh god, I love how I don't even have this kid's name. I know the kid has a name.
Oh,
It's
no.
like it's
Oh,
like it starts with an E, I
is
think.
it an E? For some reason, like, my brain is just like, his name is Colin. His name is Colin 100%, but that's
Colin
zero.
is Colin's actually
Ren's little brother,
he's
right?
no. Well, I mean maybe, but
Oh, God.
Colin is the kid who's in the swimming class who hangs out with Klein.
Oh.
He's the other dude. He's the other dude in the swimming club.
Right. Oh, my God.
No, this is the blonde kid who gets tutored by Klein. It's understandable. I see where you got the connection from.
Yes.
But the blonde kid who gets tutored by Klein kind of stops hanging out with his friends and stops going to Sunday school. And then like his parents like practically almost get a divorce.
Yeah.
And the only reason he's upset is because they're arguing is making it hard for him to study.
That poor kid.
Yeah, and then during the festival, he finally meets back up with his friends, and they start hanging out again. And that is the most wholesome thing in the entire universe.
I loved his arc. It's so good.
That's a whole character arc for a character we don't remember the name of.
Mm-hmm. But then
and now, yeah, right. Like it's so wild to me that like this is just a side story that you could avoid.
Yeah.
You could never get any of this information.
Yup.
Even if you did 100% of all the quests, including the side quests,
yeah,
you would never interact with this boy, except for the one time you would tutor him.
Right.
Klein asks you to tutor him because his mom gets like sick or something.
Yeah.
And then later we meet Klein's mom. My God. Hold on. Let's talk about Klein for a few minutes since we're on the topic of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he tutors the boy. He's the captain of the swimming club. And he like kind of mentors Colin, and Colin like over the course of the game, just kind of gets more confident. And he's trying to like guide Laura into being a better teacher as well.
Yes.
While she's teaching Monica, the red-haired girl, how to swim, basically. And Monica, we can also hit real quick because she's like super unconfident. She thinks Laura's like a second year at first because, I mean, it's Laura.
Yep.
She's very tall, intimidating, which it makes sense. She has this air about her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, which probably comes from her nobility background on top of the fact she's just extraordinarily powerful woman with a giant sword. Like, what do you want from her?
Right.
She's still like, I think like, and I don't know how I answered this question during our podcast, but I think Laura's probably my favorite Class 7.
Oh, yeah.
Member.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned that.
I don't believe you did.
I think I copped out and I said Sarah. But like if I had to pick an actual student, if I had to actually pick a student in Class 7, it would be Laura.
Yeah, and absolutely understandably so. Students for me, oh God, that's difficult. But
oh yeah. Well, we're both helpless Sarah simps. So
also true.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to say Emma.
That's legitimately surprising for me.
Really?
like I get it, but I don't know. I feel like Emma's got a lot more to her, than what we got in this game,
right?
But like she's probably like middle of the road for me,
understandably
mostly
so
because the bottom of the class is so bad.
Yeah,
I mean, Eustace and Gaius are like one note characters.
Also true. Yes.
Like Gaius had his own chapter.
Yeah.
And we learned nothing about him.
Right. Yep. We learned more about his family, I think, than we learned about Gaius.
More about him. We learned more about him in a random bonding event
Yeah.
than we did in the entirety of the Nord chapter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's not the main character in his own chapter. Like, the actual Nord itself is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, makes sense in a way. Because, like, Eustace didn't get much in his own chapter. Mark got more character development in Eustace's chapter than Eustace did.
That is true. Honestly, yeah, Eustace was more like just like a dump of information, right? Like he was just like, yeah, so I have trauma.
He just existed to basically give us, like, you know, his chapter existed to give us, like, this is what the bad kind of nobility is like.
Yeah.
You know, his family.
Yeah.
And Rufus is like a kind person, but he's clearly with the noble faction.
Right.
Which is really interesting, I think. But like, if I were to round out like the bottom rung, I'm gonna get yelled at for this.
Not by me.
Dude, I don't know, man. If I were to put like a bottom three, it would be Gaius, Eustace, and then oh man,
if you don't say
it would it's either going to be Emma or Milliam.
Really? I'm actually surprised that Elliot didn't make the list.
Elliot?
Yeah.
Okay. Elliot would be a fourth. Elliot is definitely in the bottom half because all of Elliot's strengths are based entirely on his family members.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, like that's just, you know, all there is to it. That's just where it's at. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. This is all because I wanted to talk about how Laura needed to learn how to teach Monica.
Right. Yes.
And Monica developed self-confidence over the course of like the whole game. And like this, so again, these are all just... Trista is probably one of the most realized locations in any JRPG.
Yeah. Honestly,
ever
maybe even any game. Like, it's got a lot. I would
say it's on the level of Pelican Town from Stardew Valley.
You know what? Yeah. Because I was just about to say, like, I can't think of many, if any, other games. Stardew is a great one that cares for building up their other characters, like their random NPCs, like over the course of, I guess, the length of the game, let's say. I really can't think of any other property that does that at all.
Yeah, like normally you'll get a couple random ones. Like we have Patrick, who's like the clear, you know, rival friend character, where he's not playable, but like he's, you know, he's picked out Reen as like, you are my one true rival, or however it is Patrick talks. And also Patrick has the best boss music.
True. Yo, for no reason.
Yeah, dude, right? Yes, I'm aware that Don't Be Defeated by a Friend plays once before you fight Patrick. However, it's Patrick's boss music.
Yeah, and what a damn good song it is.
Oh yeah, and we'll get to music in a little bit, but like you have Patrick and Patrick's unnamed cronies / friends.
Oh yeah,
even his butler. Oh, what's his butler's name? He has a whole side quest.
Yeah,
it starts with like a C or something. I don't remember.
Patrick, where are you? There you are.
Thank God someone's got the wiki up.
Yeah,
my keyboard and mouse are too loud, so it would make this recording literally unlistenable.
Celestin is his name. I'm probably
Celestin,
the pronunciation, but yeah,
it's close enough. But yeah, so like even he has like some development. He's like, oh, I got called back to the house, and I have to stay with Patrick because he's like a brother to me, and he's the only man who ever treated me like a real human being instead of just a servant. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah. God, we're probably going to see more of him in the next game.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, there's no way we don't.
We have the twins, Vivi and Lind, who have like some of my favorite bits, my favorite side quest bits in the whole game.
Yeah.
Lind has like a side quest where she's like, hey, I'm going to go grab these flowers. I need these flowers for an art piece I'm working on. Can you go get them for me?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go out, and then suddenly she catches up, and she's like, "Oh, I forgot. Get this flower too." And then you go get the flowers. You come back and you hand her the one that she forgot about, and it turns out that was her sister Vivi screwing around.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this flower represents that you want to be passionate lovers or whatever. And it's like, haha, I have rused you. Getting each other's pants now.
Now, was it Lind or was it Vivi that was in the gardening club?
Vivi was in the gardening club.
Okay.
And then Lind shows up one day.
Right.
I actually don't really know what the deal with that was. I don't remember, but Lind showed up randomly, and Vivi styled her hair like Lind.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I learned how you tell them apart.
Oh, really?
Consistently, yes. Vivi has brighter eyes.
Oh,
and Lind has this extra dark crescent.
Oh,
in her eyes.
Way.
Yeah, if you see them right next to each other, you can immediately see it.
Holy smokes!
It's in the official art. I believe that Vivi is also a little more solidly built.
Right.
But I don't think that's in the character models at all.
Okay.
She's slightly wider shoulders. I spent way too long flipping between those two arts the other day.
I love it though. I love it so much. That's cool.
Yeah. But no, I love all of the random nonsense that Vivi puts Lind through. It's one of my favorite little tidbits.
Yeah.
Another pair that I love is Becky and Hugo.
Oh yes.
Because Becky, the only Scottish person in the entire country.
Oh, I think she ended up being my favorite because of that, to be honest, among the other students.
I gave her an awful accent whenever I always just, whenever I read her lines, I read them as yelling in just the worst Hollywood Scotland accent of all time.
No.
It's like, what you talking about? Get your brass neck.
Oh my God. Nah, you've got to be stopped.
And then she's like, yas. Just all the time. I freaking love Becky so much.
Yeah, I think she's my favorite.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite's Colette. Not even a little bit.
Yeah?
Colette is my favorite of the tertiary students. So her whole shtick is she just really loves shopping to the point where she forgets that food exists. And then she goes hungry for a month. She spent all of her money on clothes.
Oh,
she's running on fumes for part of the summer.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. And then she just gets upbeat. She ends up becoming friends with this older lady, and they go on shopping trips. And when you're in Heimdallr, you run into Colette and this lady going shopping.
That's cool. What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think you run into them. You run into them at some point during the festival,
right,
in Heimdallr. I don't remember when.
Cool. Man, see, now I wish I paid more attention to most of the other students, to be honest.
I hit every single scrap of dialogue I'm pretty sure Tristan has to offer.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do better when I get to Cold Steel 2. Cause what? I only really remember Colette for the mission where she has you looking around for a notebook or diary or something she left around somewhere in the
her student handbook.
Yeah, she leaves that somewhere, and I remember, oh my God, I remember running around like crazy looking for that thing. But it was fun.
You want to know my favorite fun fact about that quest?
Yeah,
it's the only item pickup quest that the item doesn't shine.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right.
I literally walked past it 4 or 5 times. It was on my screen.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
And I just walked right past it because I was looking for the shine, not like a physical object.
Of course. Yeah.
Because it's every item in every single game has had that up to that point.
Yeah. All of a sudden.
And that's the one that doesn't. Beryl.
Yeah.
The Occult Research Society girl. She shows up like partway through the semester.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just sets up shop and then just starts giving us these freaky predictions.
Now,
and here's something. There's something going on with her, though.
Yeah.
Because she knows about Valimar.
What?
Before we do.
No way.
Like, well, I think it's not before we do, but I think, like, as soon as that, like, basement opens...
Yeah, she's just aware.
She's aware of it. She talks about it, and she's like, oh, yeah, the giant armor that you ran into. Because she talks about the 4th floor Guardian, too. She's like, oh, yeah, the giant armor you've dealt with. Oh, what mysteries does it persecute? It's like, wait, how do you know this?
Yeah, what?
And then, like, all of her predictions are, like, accurate. Like, there's something going on.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, I'm like, hold the phone.
Oh, my God.
And if you talk to her during the finale, she's like, we're coming up on a major point of your destiny because I can no longer see the future as clearly. Something will change and you are the fulcrum. And it's like,
what?
Yeah, like, it's nuts.
Yeah,
like,
I'm happy I didn't stick around there.
Right? And so, like, you have Dick Van Dyke, the principal. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the fact that his last name is pronounced Van Dyke and not Van Dyck.
Yes.
Which I thought it was for the whole game.
Yeah.
I think no one says his name out loud.
Correct. Yeah, not until near the end, I think. Yeah.
Final chapter. And I'm like, what? That's amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
He cuts the tank in half.
Yeah, that he does.
Casually. Neidhart is cool because he lived.
Yeah, I like Neidhart. I was expecting him to be like a surprise villain at some point, but he was just cool the entire time.
There's an interesting time in the middle of I think it's early chapter 5 before you go to the fortress. Gorelia Fortress.
Yeah,
there we go.
There it is.
And where him and Elliot are chatting in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
And Reen points it out. It's like, huh, that's weird. And it's like foreshadowing the fact that we're going to run into Craig, like General Craig or whatever.
Right.
And I thought that was an interesting, like, so much. This game does so much for, like, building. Like, there's so many little crumbs everywhere, and it's insane, like, how well it all ties together. I love it.
Yeah. God.
We haven't talked about Angelica or George.
Well, true. Yeah, we talked on the other two, but not those. No, not those two.
Let's start with George, because he's kind of got less going on than Angelica, I think.
Yes.
At least I can't remember too much going on. Like, he's just some tech dude who is super cool. Like, what's his background?
Honestly, I can't think of much of one. Like, he's just really good with tech. He constructs like anything Orbital related at school. So I guess maybe like orbments more specifically are kind of sort of his specialty, but like mechanics kind of go hand in hand with that.
Yeah, I do love how there's like a lot of like engineering type stuff like involved with orbments. It's never like treated like a magic thing. It's always an engineering problem.
Yes.
And I do really appreciate that. But there's a lot of tech in this series is magitech.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, like I don't know. There's also a lot of like watchmaking. What's parallels, I guess, or at least there was earlier on.
Yeah.
Not as much anymore. Since they're now more closer to cell phones and pocket watches.
Right.
But I don't know, man. I like watches. I like stuff with a lot of gears in it. So this series really it clicks a lot of those light boxes. But yeah, I like
Yeah.
George, man.
Yeah.
George is
Speaking of
fine.
watches, apparently he helped design the Arcus for the game. Or for the class, I should say.
Really?
Yeah, apparently
I
he
didn't
helped
know
design
that.
that. Yeah, so that's a
Huh.
little something. Yeah, okay, I
Oh,
like
that
that.
is brought up at some point.
Yeah, like pretty close to the
Yeah,
beginning, I'm sure. But it's like glossed over, most definitely. He's like, oh
I
yeah,
think
here's
he's like,
George.
oh, I had a hand in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many throwaway lines like that.
Mm-hmm.
Angelica ends up being much more important to the plot than I thought the random horny leather bodysuit lady would end up being.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um daughter of one of the four great houses,
Mm-hmm.
very good fighter
Yeah.
randomly.
Yeah. Hand to
Um
hand too. Like we haven't seen that since Zin, right?
Zin, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Well, I think
ooh.
it's the same or at least a similar style.
Yeah, actually, I think it is the
Kaido, yeah, it
same.
is the same style. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Kaido,
Oh, wait a
and
minute.
because it was brought up that she like wandered around Calvard for a while.
Oh, oh my God. She definitely has a relationship with somebody because I think she says something to Reen later in the game when you have that practice match against her and it's brought up that she uses Taito. I think she says something
Yeah,
along the lines. I saw this in your playthrough. She says something along the lines of that, like she traveled with somebody who practiced it. So it's one of the 3 or 4 people who
wouldn't it be
practiced it.
wild if it was Walter?
Right? I was like, Walter is not off the table. And then I was like, what if it
Yeah,
was maybe like their master before he passed? But I doubt it would be that.
it could be Kilika.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, I don't know when
Kilika
did
maybe.
Kilika like kind of settle in?
Oh, you know what? It's gotta be Kilika, right? Because doesn't Kilika also say that she did some traveling before she settled? At the Bracer Guild in
Maybe
Laboral?
that tracks.
Yeah, like after the whole incident in Calvard, I think she literally like she says she wandered for a while, and like a
Yeah,
good portion of her like interactions with her from other characters is like, hey, so like, what made you settle in Liberl? Like, why did you stay here? Uh, and I can't recall what the answer to that exactly was, but
yeah. I don't
I
remember
think
either.
I think it's Kilika.
That tracks enough.
Yeah,
The last named character we have, the not last named character we have, at least in Trista, is Kenneth, the
yeah.
fisherman, the head of the fishing guild, and the person who Annabelle should be engaged to,
Ooh,
because she's engaged to. So Annabelle is this girl who you see in all the major cities,
mm-hmm.
either her or her butler. I don't know if she's in all of the major areas.
Yeah,
But you see her throughout the game. You end up do a fish off against her for the golden salmon in Legram. And
mm-hmm.
then we find out that she's been running away from an arranged marriage.
Yeah,
She even has like a side quest at the beginning of the game where you get her missing wallet.
yeah, yep. I remember that.
Yeah, and so we find out that she's been running away from an arranged marriage, and apparently she's being and it's introduced to us because the butler's like, yes, the son of the Lake Lord Company, and I'm like, oh, Kenneth, and I'm like, dude, Kenneth told these two would love each other, and
Mm-hmm.
so we find them hanging out. I'm like, oh, they're fishing together, with their future marriage, and then we find out it's his brother, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yep.
if I had a Vine Boom on a soundboard, this is where the Vine Boom would go.
I'll hand it to you for post.
Oh, thank you, Editor Eric. I hope you did it. Thank you, Editor Eric. So that made me real mad. I've never wanted anything to go well for that man more than I did in that moment.
It's got to happen over the course of these games. It has to.
I would really like that immensely. I don't care. Look, if it takes Kenneth's brother getting killed off screen, that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Oh my god!
All right. Look. If you're not gonna kill people for your ships in fiction, you don't believe in that ship. All right.
Fair. That's fair. You know what? I subscribe to that.
Look, if you're not willing to off tertiary characters that aren't even in the game for the power of the ship, it's not a real ship. Go back to your fanfiction.nets and do it right.
Mm-hmm. It's time. The power really is in your hands.
It's true. So we have a couple unnamed characters I want to point out because, again, there are entire unnamed characters in Trista with character arcs. Mm-hmm. Okay, not character arcs, but at least through lines.
Right, yeah.
There's the girl in the lower class dorms that's just really into Toa. She's not a member of the student council. She just sits on one of the couches, and every time you go talk to her, she's talking about Toa and how Toa's super cool and how Toa's like amazing. And I don't blame her because have you seen Toa?
Right. Oh,
she's the best. There's also an unnamed couple of lower class students. Actually, there's two unnamed couples. There's an unnamed couple of lower class students, and there's a couple that shows up periodically who is a upper class student and a lower class. There's an upper class dude and a lower class girl.
Mm-hmm.
And you just kind of get to follow how their relationship blossoms through the game. The lower class couple, they start off, it's like, oh, hey, I'm into this. Oh, I'm into this. And then they're like, oh, I can't wait to, like, I can't wait for the festival and we can dance together. And then blah, 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 blah. And then like the upper class and lower class, he's like, oh, I'm going to go home for the summer. I wish you could come with me. Or however it is the dude talks. And
that's cute.
It's just really interesting because like there's entire groups of unnamed characters.
Yeah.
That have a through line.
Yeah. Unnecessary detail. And we're here for all of it.
I'm such a fan.
Yeah.
I'm such a fan of this.
I think for that reason, like, I'm mad that Cold Steel was my first game. Because if I had an inkling of that any sooner, like of just how in depth all the NPCs were, like I would have.
Oh yeah,
I would have danced around all of that.
Well, yeah, because like Sky first chapter was the game that kind of clued me into that.
Right. Yeah.
And it was the shopkeeper at Roland. I think that's like an example that a lot of people bring up.
Yeah, I think we even talked about him. Yeah.
And it's the fact that his mom like traveled the country basically with us.
Yeah.
Like obviously she took the airship.
Right.
Like she traveled the country with us to find a girl for her son, and then he brought one home.
Yeah.
And then they're dating.
Yeah, so
it's great. I love it.
So
it's amazing. Like Anton's obviously like also the other big example from Sky.
Yeah.
And he shows up in this game, and I think we talked about it already.
Yes.
Because it's just hilarious that he's there.
Yeah.
Still trying to get over Fran, which again, I can't blame him.
Poor guy.
What a sad man.
Honestly.
Then he hits on Sharon, which is yet another mistake, but for completely different reasons.
Yeah.
Look, I will never. I don't shame people. However, Sharon needs to learn how limits work. He needs to learn appropriate timing.
Oh man,
Did we talk
Sharon.
about Sharon? We had to have talked
Yes,
about Sharon, right?
we
Okay.
talked about Sharon. Yeah,
All right. Good. I'm like, hold on. I did not talk about Sharon because my God.
yeah. Like she's on our list again. Anyways, I'm sure there are maybe a few other things we could kind of maybe touch up on upon her, right? Because we sort of
Yeah.
jumped to the reveal at the end as opposed to anything else.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I
we'll come back to
mean,
Sharon.
yeah. So before we get to there, we still have like the board of directors.
Yes.
For the school. Which is headed by
Your favorite.
Prince Olivier himself. I know it's pronounced Olivert. I don't care.
Yeah, he'll forever be Olivier.
He will be Olivier. He's Olivier in my heart. A simple seeker of beauty and love and loots.
Oh yeah.
I love that he's in this game.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'm a little there's the only thing that I don't like is that he feels like he's doing a lot. I don't know. He's doing a lot of background work.
Right. Yes.
He okay. He is doing a lot of the stuff in this game that I complained about Cassius in the first game.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Where a lot of like the back end plot stuff is getting taken care of completely off screen.
Yeah.
And it's just one guy doing all of it.
Right.
Which is like, obviously, like that's one of the things I actually really like about the Legend of Heroes franchise in general is even though you're the main character, you're not the main character. You're the perspective.
Yeah. Right.
Character. Stuff happens outside of your field of influence.
Yes.
Even on the local scale.
Yeah.
Like obviously on the international scale, like a lot of stuff happens outside of the range of what Reen's capable of dealing with. But even on a local scale, like stuff happens regardless of whether Reen's there to see it or not. The bonding quests are a good example. Like half of them are going to happen regardless. Like Monica and Laura's whole storyline, and I definitely talked about this last time. Like Monica and Laura's whole storyline, Elisa and Ferris's whole storyline, regardless of whether you're there to see it, it happens.
Yes.
Eustace's whole storyline with Julia, like all of those things happen. And so like it's not a fair complaint to be like, oh, Olivier is doing so many things and it doesn't matter like what we're doing because he's the real, like, yeah, well, Cassius Bright did it first. And like, I'm annoyed by it, but it's an aspect of this series that I'm accepting at this point.
Right. Yeah, that is true. And where I'll kind of give Oliver the sort of like, I guess extra point is that like, he's kind of been alluding to such in each of his like his prior appearances and stuff. Like he alludes to the fact that he's constructing what eventually becomes Class 7, and he alludes to kind of like, you know, like obviously what their purpose will be and so on and so forth, right? He takes inspiration from the Bracer Guild in Liberl during his time there, and so on and so forth. So I'll kind of give him benefits there where it's like, yeah, like I think he's in some ways always been like that sort of back end, almost like Cassius character, and but like of course now even more so because we're the ones sort of being influenced by what he's developed, right? So of course we're not going to be able to, at least not currently, see what he's continuing to do back end because he's not an active member in the party, and when he is around, it is for very brief windows of time now, as opposed to him being like a party member or a consistent recurring character or whatever else. Unlike Cassius, who just
unlike Cassius, who's like, oh, I'm gonna solve the entire plot of the game off screen, show up at the end to steal the boss. Every time we beat up, just swoops in on a dragon surfing. God, I hate Cassius so much sometimes. But yeah, like Olivier, like we see this stuff. Like this is an obvious extension of what we already knew about the character.
Yeah.
But like, and so I don't again, it's not a real complaint at this point. It's just how the series structures itself. And it's interesting to see, like, this is his response to, like, Class 7 is basically his response to Osborne.
Yeah. Imagine. God.
Yeah. And so that's just kind of wild. We have
Irina.
Arena Reinford,
Yeah.
who's a whole piece of work.
Oh yeah. What a gem.
I'm one thing I always find really funny about her is she has a line where time isn't something you find, it's something you make.
Yeah.
And she immediately proceeds to not make any time for her daughter.
That is very true.
Game.
Yep. God.
It's like, time isn't something you find, it's something you make. And I'm like, then make time to spend with your daughter.
Right.
It's literally all she wants is like a head pet, but not from Reen.
Yeah.
Serial head petter,
Yeah.
Reen Schwartzer. Does not want that one. Wants all the other ones, though.
Right, literally.
Dude's a menace. But I don't know. I like her. She's definitely fallen a little too hard into the, like, I mean, she's definitely like playing up the what is it called? Like hyper competent CEO lady stereotype.
Yeah, definitely.
Which actually kind of pairs really well with Sharon with her super hyper made powers thing she's got going on. Actually, I love the whole Reinford family. They're phenomenal.
They're great. I
really want to know how the hell she got Sharon on board.
That's exactly
I need to know.
Yeah.
I need to know how that happened.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure we'll get to it next game, but my God.
Right. Yeah, same. I'm almost like scared to find out, because in all of the previous mentions of Reinford and even a bit during Cold Steel, they're kind of still casted in a bit of a shady light, right? Because they obviously are very powerful and they're involved in almost anything Orbment related, good or bad. We of course learn some more of the deeper truths of the company during Cold Steel, where we learn, of course, like, even though she's at the top of command and all that good stuff, like, there are many things going on within the company she doesn't know about. So in a way, there's a bit of relief in knowing that she's not directly involved in all of that. Right. So,
but it's kind of annoying that she's like able to ignore the production of that whole flagship and all these giant robots.
That is true too. Yeah.
Like, that's not good.
Yeah.
Past her though, we have Rufus Albarella.
Yeah.
I like Rufus. I really want to know what his deal is though.
Yo, right.
Because, like, he's clearly in with the Noble faction, but, like, he's still portrayed as, like, a good guy.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super weird because, like, because you have, like, Duke Cayenne or whatever, and he's, like, clearly a villain.
Yeah, that man, comically a villain.
Yeah, like, he has his Jaeger buddies along with him, and it's just like, interesting. I see. But, like, I don't know, Rufus is really interesting, and I do like his interplay with Eustace.
Yeah.
He's got a lot going on though, and it's going to be really interesting to see how he ends up pairing out behind the scenes.
Yeah, I don't want to speak too much on Rufus because I do know a bit from the bit I played of Cold Steel 2.
Oh yeah,
and
I have a feeling. I have a feeling whatever like cards he has to play have to come out really quickly after that all happened, because stuff has to happen at the beginning of Cold Steel 2.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, like a royal flush. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk about that near the end though.
Most definitely.
What about Carl?
Carl
Regnant, local coffee connoisseur.
Yeah. Carl's great.
I mean, every time we see him, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm never upset. He clearly like it's interesting though because like he's clearly working under Osborn, that's the thing that's blowing my mind is
Right.
Osborn was set up
Right.
like to be like this massive, like there's like series spanning villain.
Yeah, he's the Eisen,
Yeah, but like he just got a hole in his chest.
Yeah.
Like and like there's obviously like the noble faction people who are clearly also I think just everyone sucks. I think that's the moral of this story.
Pretty much. Yep.
Yeah, and like cuz Carl's good. Like I like the fact that he's like worked up from nothing. I like the fact that I don't know. I like their family history.
Yeah.
I like the fact he likes coffee. I thought he was Dudley though. The first time I saw him.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's Dudley doing here? Like, no, that's Carl. I'm like, what's Dudley doing here? Why is his name Carl now?
Oh,
I love that guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of though of Osborn,
Yes.
Dude's got a hole in his chest.
Dude, I did not see that coming from a mile away.
I was like,
or from a sniper
I was
shot.
like, yeah. I mean, no one saw that because it was from a mile away. Hey.
Nice.
I thought that shot was going to get stopped. I'm
Right.
like, this shot has to get stopped.
Right. Yeah. Because he's the kind of dude who has like a contingency plan for everything, right? Like he is like evil Batman or something. He's just ready for anything. And even after the shot, right? He's like, like good work, like arm thrust or whatever, right? Like he commented him for like getting the one up on him or whatever. And I was like, there was like you know who did it. There was no way you weren't prepared for this.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how he's going. Like he's got to survive this. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know how he's going to.
Right.
Like it's going to be a real ass pull. Whatever it is. But like there's no way you take a character as intimidating, as developed, as just as big of a character as this Osborn is. You don't just throw that away.
The Iron and Blood Chancellor. Yeah, no
right.
Way.
Dude's gonna survive, but it's gonna be some evil nonsense.
Oh yeah.
And like he always felt like he was a step ahead until the 1 second he wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And even Milliam was like, oh, it looks like Crow got us.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, how are none of you as concerned as I feel like you should be?
Right.
Like a friggin' Anguis is around. Osborn's got a giant hole in his chest, giant robots, and Milliam's just like, that's a them problem. They got it.
Right.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Claire's cool though.
Oh, I love Claire. Oh my god, I love Claire.
Get it? Cool. Icy maiden. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I hate you now.
It's understandable. Have a nice day. See you next time.
See you later.
But anyway, yeah, like I love her just showing up and then just having periodic pissing contests with Sarah.
Yeah. Oh, their history. We gotta explore that.
Yeah. She dresses up very well for her quote unquote date with Reen.
Yeah.
That crashes on.
Yeah, that's true. She shows, oh my gosh. I was like, wait a second.
I wonder if you can shake Fee for that sequence.
Ooh.
I wonder if you can go with just Reen.
I doubt it. I feel like you're trapped with that situation no matter what you do.
Yeah, I know there's bonus AP if you find her.
Right.
But like I guess she'll probably like follow you once you like try to leave. Like
right.
She'll be more obvious before leaving the building.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, Claire is like, well, along with all the, what are they called? The Iron Blood Children or something?
Yes.
It's like her, Milliam, and Lecter. Yeah, Iron Bloods.
Yeah.
They're all very interesting characters, and I'm and I think they're what like Class 7 is like Olivier's response to them
Right.
specifically,
Right. Yes.
which is double interesting that Millium got added in.
Yo. Right. Yeah.
Uh, I don't know what Olivier's plan on that, because he made that decision.
Yes. Yeah. I kind of wonder too.
He was involved with that process.
Yes. 100%.
So like, yeah, like, and then again, Lecter. These are such good segues. I'm sorry, I had to say it. We're absolutely reveling in these.
Banging. Back to back.
I love that Lecter's back, because Lecter was such a fun part of every game he's been in so far.
Yeah, I was so happy when I came back to Cold Steel and like realized he was going to be coming up in the Nord chapter. I was like, oh yeah, this freaking guy, he's here.
Yeah, he's just vibing, hanging around. Yep. Hasn't gotten to go gamble over in Crossbell yet, so he's working on it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Lecter's cool.
Yeah, Lecter's cool. I think this is the first time we've kind of seen him. I guess actually, well, I mean, I guess he's always on the job, but I guess this is the first time we've seen him in uniform, right? Like acting as the right hand to Osborne.
You see it for like a minute in Zero, when Kilika kind of catches up to him.
Right, yeah.
But like even then, it's like a very like it's like a couple lines.
Yeah,
and then, is it even mentioned in third outside of like him just showing up with Osborne during Olivier's door?
No, I don't believe so. I'm trying to remember if there were any allusions from that Chloe memory where like, you know, he disappears, but I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think it's just like he pops up randomly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was he in the dinner party?
No, he was not.
Okay, all right. I'm like, hold on. Was he at the party, like the after party? And if he wasn't, that's good.
Yeah, right, he was not. I do know, like, yeah, of course, when he shows up at the castle later with Osborne, you know, he and Chloe do have a conversation, and they talk about boys, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I'm thinking of it, because they have that conversation in the same spot.
Yeah.
That she basically like confesses and turns down Josh at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
I love that conversation so much.
It was good. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I still haven't done like a proper review of the third. I haven't done like a podcast. I haven't done like a review. I haven't done anything about it. I think I did like a tier list.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm going to go on an aside about why I haven't done that yet. So Trails in the Sky the Third is not my favorite game in the series. It's probably my least favorite out of the 5 that I've played. However, it probably has the most emotionally strong moment in the franchise, and it's not the one you're thinking about.
Ooh.
All right. If you were to take a stab at what I'm talking about, it's a series of small moments that lead up to a big moment. What do you think it would be?
Oh, okay. If it's a series of small moments, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
By the way, this is basically going to be what my review is going to talk about.
Okay. Recalling third because if it doesn't involve that, then
it's not door 15.
Yeah, then holy smokes.
Though I could see like Star Door 15 is definitely like a thing. And maybe me and you can sit down and talk about the third in detail, but I want to just say this one thing. And I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah, please do.
It's the chest messages in the final dungeon.
Whoa. Yeah, see, I would have never have guessed that.
It's the chest messages in the final dungeon leading up to the after credits thank you screen. Because the chest messages in the final dungeon are all from people
The
who worked on the
staff.
game, like
Yeah.
encouraging you and thanking you for playing the game.
Right.
And Sky the Third is a love letter to the fans from everything about like all of the extra backstories that people wanted, all of this like flash forward stuff,
Mm-hmm.
all of this like random world building, all the way to the Morse code hidden in the boss music of the final boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is a love letter to the people who played their game. And that, like, those little chess messages, like, were like starting to like, oh man, I'm feeling sentimental about this. And then they hit you with a thanks for playing our game at the end. And I broke down.
Yeah.
Like, Star Wars 15 didn't do it was like horrifying, but
Yes.
it didn't hurt me.
Yes. Yeah.
That hurt. And that's why I haven't been able to do a like proper review on it. And maybe like it's time I just sit down and do a podcast on it. So if you want to like do a third,
I would be down.
podcast on the third,
I would
at
love to
some
recap
point.
third with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's something I just need to do, and I just haven't been able to like. I've probably thrown away 40, 50 scripts for a
Dang.
proper review video. I just
Yeah.
don't know how to. I don't know how to do it.
Right. Dang.
Maybe I just won't.
Yeah, that's also fair and valid too. if you
Like, yeah. So that's that. For those wondering where the hell that is, there you go. Thank you, Lecter, for reminding me. Let's talk about Blueblanc. I hate Blueblanc.
know. Oh my god, this dude.
I love Blueblanc, but I hate Blueblanc.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
it's one
love
of
the fact that he exists, but every time he shows up, I want nothing more than for him to go away.
those. Yeah.
Because I know it's going to be trouble. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
there will be a problem,
Yep.
and then I'll have to solve it.
Yep. At least four riddles, excuse me.
Oh yeah, dude loves just showing up. He's like, who is the main character today? Oh, I'm going to mess up your whole freaking Minecraft Steve Pockets, dude.
God.
It's like, oh, I'm going to pick up the statue, put it in my pocket, put it in the mayor's bedroom. Why? Pfft, whatever.
It's crazy how, I guess, under the, I mean, it's not even really a guise, but, you know, as Blueblanc, Phantom Thief, like, I think he's known worldwide, right?
He is,
So I'm surprised that nobody in the in like the jewelry shop you go to when you first run into him, I'm surprised nobody like bats an eyelash when he's like, "Oh yes, I am Baron Blueblanc." Like, hello, like, what do you mean?
I think people know Phantom Thief B, but they don't know like Blueblanc.
Oh, you know what? That's what it is. Yeah.
Because we know, because you know he's an enforcer. We've run into him in that capacity.
Right. No, you're right.
But I mean, it's a paper thin disguise to begin with. But like, jeez.
I might have random trivia about him. Actually, hold on.
Yo, I love random trivia.
I'm double check. Oh my god. So, his voice actor in the English dub, Kirk Thornton, is also the current voice for Shadow the Hedgehog.
What?
Yeah, they're the same guy. Blueblanc is Shadow the Hedgehog, and I'm a little.
I don't know how to feel about this.
Yeah, what's going on here?
What else has he done?
That's a good question. Let's see here.
Oh, I like this. We have wikis up, and we're like actually learning things. This is like magic.
This is
like a professional podcast.
Imagine that,
right? Oh my god!
For those of you who watch the English dub of Demon Slayer, he's Tanjiro's dad.
Yo.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna see if he was always this character, but I see that he recently played Gabumon in something.
One of those digital mons.
Yes, one of those.
Yes.
He's the voice of Klein in Sword Art Online.
Oh, the headband dude.
Yep. And apparently he has probably always been he's always been the voice of Gabumon. Hello?
Huh.
What?
What a range.
This is kind of crazy.
What a range on this guy. My God.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Actual legend stuff.
No way. This has to have been only like one thing. Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
Whew, thank God. He very briefly played Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho in like a movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, I was like, if he was the Hiei, I would have definitely had questions because I also know that the voice of Hiei is Android 17 in Dragon Ball. So I was like,
Oh yeah,
huh? Yeah. So if I had learned that was the case, I might have disconnected. I'm not gonna lie.
that's fair. Hold on. Shadow. Has he always done Shadow?
No. Well, I mean, I guess he's been Shadow the last 10 years.
Okay, I'm
they
like
did the last like large recasting.
that was in the what roughly Sonic Boom region?
Yeah, it would be around that time. Yes. He's
Yeah,
been
I'm
Shadow
like
the Hedgehog since 2012, 2011, 2010.
so.
All right.
All right, interesting.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of like what the Sonic game around then was, and I think it's Boom.
Boom didn't come out till later.
Oh, that was like 2016.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 2016, 2015.
Sonic Freeriders and Sonic Colors. I guess specifically 3DS as far as colors goes.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense. I'm like Colors. I've never played Colors.
Yeah. He's been Shadow since then. After that, he was in like
fake Sonic fan over here.
No, you're good. Listen, that's another can of worms. It's been a rough time.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll get to that. All right.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. Wow.
Interesting. That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
God, we've had a lot of random asides on this, but that's okay. There's so much learning today.
Yeah, there's a lot of information about this game.
Yeah. But yeah, Blueblanc, pretty cool. Along with fellow enforcer Sharon.
Yeah.
What was her title and number again?
She was. Oh my God. What number? Jeez, I don't remember the number, but she was the Severing Chains.
The Severing Chains. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Let me see if I can find.
Dude, I knew. I feel like the woman that's known as the Severing Chains. When Claire said that, I should have immediately been like, wait a minute. There is only one group of people that use the and a title.
Yeah.
And that's Ouroboros. That's Enforcers.
Yeah.
I should have put 2 and 2 together, but I didn't until she literally introduced herself as Ouroboros Enforcer number whatever.
She is number 9.
Number 9. All right. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. I never saw it coming. Like, both times, to be honest.
I know, right? It's like I'm like, all right, whatever. They just have a suspiciously superpowered maid. Like,
right.
Whatever. That's just a thing you're allowed to do. You don't have to explore this.
Yeah.
But they did.
Yeah.
And it's nutty because, like, what's she doing?
That's what I'm saying, right? And then she also talks like she's not affiliated with them anymore, or at least I guess for the time being, or something like that. Like she's on vacation. Yeah. And it's like
she's off the payroll. She's busy.
Yeah. And I just like I do wonder, right? Like, because I don't think we've run into something like that before. So I'm kind of like, are you beefing with the rest of your organization, or
she could be beefing specifically with the Azure Abyss, the Anguis. It's local.
Maybe that's
It's actually super possible because like that would make sense.
Yeah, that would.
And I feel like we talked about Misty / Vita / the Azure Abyss earlier, but like I want to touch on this again.
That betrayal hurt me so much.
I was caught very off guard, but like during my second playthrough, listening to the Abend times,
yeah,
it's there's a lot of build up for it. Like,
Yeah.
she says some sinister random nonsense.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm like, because like, and the first time I was like, all right, that's kind of awkward. Like, maybe it's just an awkward anime translation, whatever. Like,
Right.
nah,
Nope.
she's just randomly the villain.
Yep. Calculated. Like, holy.
Absolutely. And it's interesting too, where like it's a side character that like you don't really know what like you didn't really see it, but like you can kind of pick up on it.
Yeah.
Similar to Alba and as Dr. George Wise Guy.
Yeah.
It's the same setup, and I liked that.
Yeah, me too.
Because even though it's like, we did the same thing to you again, but like it still worked.
Yeah, and she's on your side this time.
Yeah, I'm just again though, Sharon, like it's interesting because like we know the enforcers do get a lot of leeway, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very interested to see what happens if Sharon ever runs into the Brights.
Ooh, yeah.
At this point, because we know they're faffing about Erebonia.
Right. Yes.
Or they're planning on it.
Yes.
So I think they were heading back to Liberal.
Yeah.
Specifically, they enrolled. Specifically enrolled Ren into Genis, but I know they were planning on going to Erebonia at some point.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because that's like the last we see of them in Zero.
Yeah.
I'm still not over the fact that they were basically took over the B plot of Zero.
Yeah, that is kind of nuts, huh?
I need Azure again. Nisa Video Game Company, please. I need Azure so quickly, so I can have Lloyd Bannings have his own game. For the love of God, just give Lloyd Bannings his own game. Reen Shores is going to show up for no reason, and I'm going to just be mad.
Yeah, yep, here we go.
It's like, oh, cool, thanks.
I do wonder. I do wonder if we're going to see Reen, or I guess much, if any, of Class 7 actually, I guess, step out of Erebonia for any other reason. Just because of how big Erebonia is, you know? Like,
I don't. They don't have a reason to.
Yeah.
Unless Valimar drags them out.
Right. Yeah.
Valimar or Celine drags them out. But past that, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah. But that's like that. I'll put that into some random speculation we could have at the end.
For sure.
So I have two characters. Toval.
Yeah.
The one bracer of Erebonia. He's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor guy. I love that we get a moment with him and Mikt and Sarah
near
the end of the game. It's like, and we learn that Carnelia is roughly based off Toval's life.
Yeah, I loved that. I was like, what? Because I remember reading through Carnelia, and somebody was telling me like, oh, this is somebody you know, tee-hee-hee. And I was like, what? Like,
dude, I know, right?
Yeah.
Shout outs to people who are like, oh, this is about someone you know, and not like, oh, I wonder what Toval's thinking about this.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Whoever you are out there, you know who you are.
Like, shout outs to people who are like able to give little hints without telling me the answer or spoilering things.
Yeah.
Like someone in my chat was like, oh, did he get to the Shinji moment yet? And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
That's such
like, because obviously he was trying to say, like, I'm like, because like obviously he's talking about Shinji from Evangelion, like getting the robot and all that. But I'm like, we haven't even seen the robot yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I knew like I knew this game had mechs,
Right.
Because it's in the opening cutscene,
Right. Yes.
It's literally there, and they spent all game not having them. And then
Yeah.
it's in the
Yeah.
final chapter, the end of the final chapter. It's the rudest thing in the entire world.
You're not lying.
I'm like, dude, so bizarre. Last character we have listed here is Gwyn Reinford.
Yo, yes. Good old
Everyone's
Gramps.
favorite perverted old man.
Oh man.
Dude's a legend.
He is. He is. Heart of gold for sure, despite, God, I just oh my gosh. I just realized he has Sharon to stay back with him. Ain't no way. He's a freak.
Oh God. Yeah. Hey, look, again, I'm not gonna shame people, but just keep it away from the children.
Yeah, honestly.
There are a lot of students. Sharon is not safe for work.
Yeah.
Or anyone.
Really. Yeah. More so that.
Oh my God. No, Gwyn would be into that. I'm willing to bet.
Honestly, yeah, I guess he doesn't really have much else to lose at this point, huh?
Yeah.
Oh geez. But yeah, Gwen was cool. I do like that even though he's not exactly present for, his family anymore, he does still have that lasting effect, right? Because previous chairman, of course, but also his morals, like I can see how they alone kind of like cause conflict between like Elisa and her mom, and so that further enhances their dynamic, right? Like and I think that's cool. But poor guy, like he really had to just sit and watch as the company made weapons he didn't like.
Yeah, honestly, he's sitting there independently wealthy in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Fishing all day.
Yeah, like
so like God, he can't feel that bad. He's living a good life over there.
True enough.
Are there any other characters we wanted to talk about before moving on to music?
There is nobody that comes to mind that we haven't already talked about, to be honest.
I mean, we've talked about
damn near everybody.
Basically the entire town of Trista. And a lot of extra side characters.
Yeah.
I really liked, and we didn't mention this. There's one thing I really, really liked, and Markarov and Mary, two of the instructors, have this like little romance that Mint is desperately cobbled together.
Yes. Oh my God! Wow.
Which is the one thing she's successful at the entire game.
Yeah.
Dude, we didn't talk about Mint.
Ooh.
Yo, I love Mint. She's one of my favorite train wrecks.
Yeah. Mint.
Dude, we could be here literally all day talking about all the random students in freaking that school.
Literally.
My God.
Literally, like I gotta do some catching up, and then literally, like this is another tier list right here.
Oh yeah, oh dude, I 100%. I would love to do like a main characters tier list, and then just a Thor's Academy tier list.
Yeah,
like you could delineate this game so many times because there's so many characters.
Yeah,
and all of them are good.
God.
My gosh. Let's talk about the music.
Yes.
So the soundtrack to this game's pretty solid. It's not on the same level as Trails from Zero.
That is true.
For me.
I think I would like probably agree with any idea that like of the 5 we've dipped our toe in so far, like this probably has the weakest soundtrack. It's still amazing, but
I'm going to disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think it's stronger
than Third.
I mean, it's definitely stronger than Third, but like Third borrows very heavily from first and second chapter. I think the Sky Trilogy has a very good soundtrack. It's a very strong soundtrack, and I think Zero, in my opinion, has the strongest soundtrack so far. but I wouldn't say it's bad.
Yeah, no, by no means was I
I
saying
guess
it was
like
bad.
okay, yeah, we're not by any means saying it's bad, but
Mhm.
okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, I don't know, maybe it. I will say it's much less consistent.
That's fair. I think I like that assessment better. Yeah.
Like there's a lot of area themes that I just don't remember. There's a lot of area themes I just don't remember. There's a lot of tracks that are like fine.
Mhm.
Some of the soundtrack choices at certain times are like, why is this music playing?
Right.
But
Yeah.
like, there's some very good tracks.
Yes.
Lonely Journey, the track that plays a lot of time when we're on train trips,
Oh yes.
gives that. Okay, I like it because it gives me Crossbell vibes. But it also like this game is very good about leitmotifs.
Mhm.
Like it's one of this series' strongest things that it does with its soundtracks. And Lonely Journey is like the class 7 leitmotif. And you hear it in a lot of other tracks. It's part of the title screen theme. It's part of a couple combats, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. And I think that's really good. This game actually does have a very strong musical identity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, most definitely.
And honestly, I'd probably put it above the Sky trilogy. Actually,
You think so?
I'm thinking about it.
Whoa.
Dude. Okay. Sky. Okay. Here's my actual train of thought.
All right.
Sky is good.
Mhm.
Okay. But it's entirely on the weight of Whereabouts of Light and
Okay.
all of its derivative themes.
I get why you say that. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Now also we can both probably agree that Sophisticated Fight is like one of the best combat themes ever put.
Yeah.
Like ever put anywhere.
Yeah. Sophisticated Fight is perfect.
Yeah. I love the Abend Time theme.
Yeah, Abend Time.
Like obviously it's the intro music for this podcast. I clearly like it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
The night music is still incredible. I think it's basically the same theme as it's been through the whole series so far.
Pretty much, actually. Yes.
It's just so calming and relaxing, and I love it, and it makes me happy.
Yeah. God, if there's one thing the Falcom JDK knows what to do, it's a set a mood. It's a set a mood, and they
Falcom JDK can do no wrong.
Literally.
No wrong. The music that plays when you're playing Blade.
Yes.
I didn't realize it was a unique track.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Oh yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
I looked forward to those train rides or any other opportunity. I think there's like one or two that you get to play Blade. Like I know it comes up at the festival, and maybe one other time besides train rides.
There is a bonding event with Crow in Chapter 5.
Holy smokes!
It's like Chapter 5 or Chapter 6. And there's a bonding event with Crow where you get to play Blade against him. And I think he cheats. I think he has an extra card.
Holy smokes! You know what? Actually, wait. I remember that. I did that bonding event.
Yeah. It's like in the classroom, right?
Yep.
I think he has an extra card.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go back because I just did it.
I hate him.
He's a villain, man.
Literally.
Combat music, I think, is extremely strong. We've talked multiple times about already about Patrick's boss theme.
Yes. Yep.
The Don't Be Defeated by a Friend. I did not realize this during my first playthrough. I only learned this from random YouTube comments on the track itself. Sarah has her own battle theme.
Oh, what?
The track is Belief. It's on the Super Arrange album as well, and it slaps.
I'm pulling that up on the side real fast. Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. Also, because I brought up the Super Arrange album, I want to talk about it.
Yes.
It is the best Super Arrange album so far.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It's in my opinion the best Super Arrange album so far. It's definitely like all the tracks are good, and that's it. That's the whole
That's
sentence.
just it.
Like the Sky trilogy. Okay, the Sky trilogy's Sora no Kisakai Zanmei or whatever the thing is on their website.
Mm-hmm.
Is good,
Oh, this is so good.
but it also has like the whole trilogy wrapped up in one album.
Right.
And the Zero Super Arrange. Okay, the Zero Super Arrange album has the best cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that has the best cover art. Just so good.
Yeah.
But like every single track on the Cold Steel Super Arrange is straight fire.
I'm gonna have to give that a proper listen through.
Oh yeah, it's very good. But like yeah, the Glint of Cold Steel and Tie of Arcus or something. I don't remember the full name of that.
Yeah.
Tie Off an Arcus or something is the two main normal battle themes.
Yeah, it's Tie a Link of Arcus.
Tie a Link of Arcus. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those are very good. Why do video game remix dudes never cover this game?
That's a good question, actually.
Like every time I see any sort of Legend of Heroes remixes, it's always Silver Will.
Right.
And that's it. That's it. It's just Silver Will.
Silver Will. I wonder.
I was like about to say another thing, but it's literally like Golden whatever Silver Will was the other track. So it's just Silver Will again.
I wonder about that. Like because I mean, for sure, I'm sure there's like interest. Maybe they're just like like hard to remix or something because they're just that good.
I mean, dude, that's super fair. I just want like, look, what we need to do, right, is we just need to like get on like Johnny Atma's Patreon and like all give him $5 so we can vote in his next remix poll and get us some Legend of Heroes remixes.
Yes. Oh, that'd be great.
Go support local. Go support some freaking remixers.
Please do.
Or something, just whatever. So yeah, like other than that, like a couple of the dungeon themes are really good. Foundation of the World, or You Will Be the Foundation of the World, whatever that track is for the final dungeon, is pretty solid.
Yeah, I liked it. Yep.
Did you have any like standouts that I didn't bring up or we haven't brought up yet?
Not particularly. Because I know my pick from this was definitely like the Blade music.
My god, the Blade music's so good.
Anything with like a fast tempo like that, like I'm locked in for it, honestly.
I love the fact that Milliam's like starting a game of Blade against her is it's time to duel.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
They did that on purpose.
I think you only play Blade with her once.
Really?
Unless you bring her to the festival. I think she only has one instance where you can play. Can you ever play Blade with Crow on the train?
That's a good question.
Or is it only
at the festival or like the bonding event?
The bonding event of the festival.
I'm not
that's
too sure.
A really good question.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, does he go with you on a trip at all?
I don't know.
Or does he kind of just dodge you the entire? Oh my god.
He has to be in one of your parties. I swear he's in one of the parties.
He has to.
Does he come along for Legroom?
I don't believe so, because that might be the one where he goes to. Oh wait, that's not the Jirai one either.
No, the Jirai is chapter 6. He never comes with us.
Let's see here. Oh, he's in your group for Ruer, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, because he has to be.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Interesting.
Yeah, but that's the only one.
Oh, his boss theme is really good too. Exceed?
Oh yeah, it is. Oh my god.
Yeah, I forgot about that entirely. It's pretty good. I'm a fan of it. It's a rock jam.
I love that you can go to YouTube and type in the word exceed and it just knows to like try and autocomplete first thing trails. Like that's it.
Yep. Look, my YouTube recommendations are like 90% Cold Steel music now. It's fine.
I love that.
But yeah, this soundtrack, I think this soundtrack is like above average.
100%.
For Legend of Heroes, at least. Like,
yes.
if you're comparing it to most other soundtracks, it's, actual, like, Legend tier.
Yeah.
It's like Chrono Cross OST levels of good.
Yeah.
Skies of Arcadia levels of good.
Yeah.
Actually, my blazing hot take is Skies of Arcadia's soundtrack is just mid, but it has a few very, very, very good tracks.
I'm with you on that, actually.
It's also one of the games that has the earliest instance of me, at least the earliest instance that I'm aware of reactive boss music.
Oh,
where like if you're struggling, it'll play a different version of the track, or once you get to the home stretch, that's the part that not enough games do. A lot of games have like oh no, you're struggling music, but like Skies of Arcadia had like the victory lap music, where it's like you've got the boss down to like 20% HP, and then like the victory, like the trumpets start kicking in. The final boss for Skies of Arcadia, like when you get into that like victory mode, the main theme kicks in.
Yeah.
Like it has like a da 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 da, and then it's like, and then the main theme kicks in, and it's all on like crazy. It's all on like woodwinds, and like even the drum beat gets happier. Why can't we have a Skies of Arcadia port? Sega,
yeah, what's going
on that? Like, how much money do you want? We got GoldenEye on the Switch now.
True.
What do we do?
God. That reminds me, I want to yell at Capcom too for Breath of Fire.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude, you've seen that GoldenEye's on the Switch and Xbox Game Pass now, right?
Oh yeah, I'll be playing it soon, actually.
Oh, dude, I will destroy you.
Oh, whoa. Hold on. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Dude, all right, first off, I'm going to go get one of those N64, Pro controllers. And then I will end you.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
I will be in your DMs shortly.
You are already in my DMs. I haven't read your last one. All right. Any other music we want to talk about?
No, I think that's it.
We should wrap up then. So I think in conclusion, Cold Steel's pretty good.
It's pretty damn good.
I'm a big fan of this game. Like, it was not walking into the game, I had a lot of very high expectations because everyone, like, I was introduced to this series by what I can only refer to as extremely rabid fans.
Yeah.
Of the franchise. And they told me that Cold Steel was their favorite game. And so I walked into this with some very high expectations. And the game met most of them.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a damn good video game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is.
Like, I understand. I get it now. And I think I said this on Twitter a while ago. People who list like, oh, they're like, whenever I'm like, oh, what's your top 10 JRPGs, they're like, can I just fill it with entirely just the Legend of Heroes franchise? I'm like, no. But I understand why you're tempted to do that now.
Yeah.
Like, and people saying that this is the weakest Cold Steel game,
Yeah, that.
And I'm like,
What?
wow.
Yeah, no way.
So again, I'm walking into this franchise with obnoxiously high expectations, but I also have the faith this series will meet them.
Right. Yeah. I'm in agreement with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Given the little like pinky toe of a dip I did into Cold Steel 2 and just how the like the series seems to, like Cold Steel in particular, how that part of the series will seem to continue to hit from like that point, that ending especially onwards from Cold Steel 1, like uh I yeah, nothing but high hopes for Cold Steel 2 and beyond. I'm super super stoked based on the things that have kind of been like alluded to, because I understand, of course, the plot's got a plot, so things have got to meet. And so I'm like, oh my god, like how, right? I want to see the how, the when. Um this is a really really good game, and I also appreciate, like, as an entry game as well, how it still sort of sets up the lore for the rest of the world without making you feel like you necessarily needed to have played other games, to be honest. Obviously nice if you did. Like I would maybe in some ways still kind of like agree, of course, for the better if you do. But as an entry point, Cold Steel, yeah, like it's wow. it's really really good at handling the earlier information, as well as still presenting you and moving you forward along with what is developing and will continue to.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. I think that's our thoughts on this game. Do you have anything you want to wrap up with?
No, nothing new at this point. Just play these games. Play Cold Steel. Yeah.
Look, if you're through, again, like if you're at the end of this and you're on the fence, just go play the damn games.
Yeah. Like,
all right,
hit me up, and depending on who you are, I will loan you my Steam library to get started. Okay, like just
you go, man.
Games.
All right. Felix, thanks as always for joining me on this. I cannot state enough how much I enjoy sitting here talking about all sorts of random nonsense with you, and I look forward to talking about more random nonsense with you in the future.
Most definitely. There'll be all of the nonsense. Are you kidding?
All of it. Everyone, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Peace.